Roosevelt University. Originally, this was a hotel. And a mixed-use building built in 1889. And originally, Roosevelt University was a hotel with offices and a theater attached. Multi-use building. Early idea. Kind of looks like a hotel. The theater is actually on the other side, and that's where we'll be headed. But I want to point something out to you here. I'll walk a little closer and show you. Okay, as you see this building here, originally there was a sidewalk. The street was widened, and they cut a hole through the hotel. You can see it, we'll walk through it. But the sidewalks was narrowed, and they cut a hole straight through the building. Originally there was a bar that was designed by the architect there, but they cut away part of the interior to fit a sidewalk. This was done in 1952. As you see, there's not much sidewalk, but this opening was cut in 1952 to accommodate a sidewalk. Straight through. Let's walk through, and we will go. Well, let's see the plaques here. Of course, this building on the historic register. Lots of historic landmarks here. So all of this was cut open to accommodate the sidewalk, and we will be approaching the Auditorium Theater. To give you a look of all of the work that was done, the cutting. Auditorium Theater, straight ahead. They offer tours here on Monday and Wednesday, she said. It's a huge building, folks. That would have been the hotel part, which was done first, and then the theater itself, which this back part here was completed last. Auditorium Theater, built 1889, Richardsonian Romanesque style. You can identify it by the huge stones. Adler, Sullivan were the architects. So currently it's owned by Roosevelt University since the 1940s. It was home of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra until 1904. It was also home of the Chicago Grand Opera Company until they moved to the Civic Opera House. That was in 1929. That's a little bit west of here. Originally, it said this was built as a multi-use structure. Hotel, offices, and a theater. The opening night attendees would have been President Benjamin Harris, who had been here a year before for the Republican convention. At the time he was here for the convention, the theater wasn't finished yet. Now, as far as the pre-1960 entertainment, you would have had John Philip Sousa, Ziegfeld Follies, Sarah Bernhardt, train overhead. Like I said, Sarah Bernhardt, train's gone now. Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Booker T. Washington, and Prokofiev, the classical pianist. Now, this building was almost torn down in 1930. In 1940, it was used to house for servicemen center during World War II. Fed, housed, entertained the troops. They had constructed a bowling alley in the theater. After 1960, it was refurbished. The building has had a lot of entertainment. After 1960, when it was refurbished, it still had entertainment. I'm gonna give you a long list. I mean, it's extensive here, and it covers several genres. Diana Ross and the Supremes, Genesis, Jimi Hendrix played here in 1968, The Who, Janis Joplin, Aretha Franklin, Elton John, Miles Davis in 1987 and 1981. I should say 1981 and 1987. Todd Rundgren in 1977. Bette Midler, Liza Minnelli, Parliament Funkadelic, the Monkees in 1969, The Doors also in 1969, James Brown and Jackie Wilson in 1969, Queen as well in 1979, and the list goes on and on. In 1970, there was a recording done here with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. And I think certain selections were pulled from that live recording. So it's called Four-Way Street album. In 2015, there was an NFL draft here. Some of the board members of the Auditorium Association originally included, and there's some notables of Chicago: Marshall Field, Edson Keith, Martin Ryerson, and railroad magnate, Pullman car owner, George Pullman. There they were, the board members, and they all were notable men of the era. The first tenant of the building when it opened in 1889 was the Chicago Conservatory of Music and Dramatic Art. And a lot of people played here. Goes on. And more recently, in the millennium, Bob Dylan, 2005. Merle Haggard, 2005 as well. Kenny Loggins played here in 1979. Like I said, that list goes on and on of the Auditorium Theater. They do give, like I said, they do give tours Monday and Wednesday. Check them out online. I'm going to do a tour of the interior. The guy said that he can take pictures, so I'm going to take the tour and do another vlog on the interior of the Auditorium Theater. So, thanks for checking it out. This has been another one.